The loudest message you'll ever send is silence. They think you're sitting there, broken, stuck, waiting. They believe that without them, your world must have collapsed. But what they don't know is that the silence they're enjoying today will become the storm they never saw coming. You don't have to speak, my friends. You don't have to explain, chase, or even respond. Because every day without you, every moment without your presence, energy, and calm strength is slowly destroying them. And the best part, you didn't raise your voice, you simply removed your presence. That's power, that's discipline, that's strength. Hey folks, imagine this. You're a fireplace in the dead of winter. You've been the warmth in their coldest nights. You've been burning steadily, giving light and comfort, sometimes even when they didn't appreciate it. And then one day, you stop. You don't make a scene. You don't throw ash. You just go cold. Now they're sitting there shivering, wondering why the room feels so empty. They thought you'd always be there. They thought they could come back whenever they pleased. But you, my friend, aren't a flame to be taken for granted. You're not warmth on demand. You are the fire they didn't learn how to keep. Let's break the biggest lie they tell themselves. That silence means you're weak. That if you're not reacting, you must be hurting. Wrong. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy, it's strength. It's the move of someone who understands the game better than anyone else in the room. You see, silence is a mirror they weren't ready to look into. Because once you disappear, they're left with the one thing they've been running from all along, themselves. And guess what? That's not a fun place to be. You don't need to fight to be heard. You don't need to beg to be seen. When you stop talking, the echo you leave behind will haunt them far louder than your voice ever did. When someone is used to your presence, your check-ins, your concern, and your constant emotional availability, and you pull that away, it's not quiet, it's suffocating. That silence becomes pressure. It squeezes, it disturbs their peace. And here's the twist. They won't show it. Not openly, not at first. But inside, they're spiraling. You're not ignoring them to punish. You're choosing yourself to heal. That's a line many people won't understand until it's too late. You're not disappearing to be dramatic. You're disappearing to protect your peace. You're not begging anymore because you finally realize that a person who knows their worth doesn't chase confusion. They walk with clarity. And the longer you stay quiet, the more their mind fills in the blanks. That's where it gets fun. They start wondering, guessing, doubting. Is he missing me? Is he moving on? Why is he so calm when I expected him to break? My friends, you've become the mystery they can't solve. And people don't forget mysteries, they replay them over and over again. So if you're sitting in silence right now, if you've walked away and chosen peace over drama, you're not losing, you're leading. You're showing strength in a way they were never ready for. And that, my friends, is where real transformation begins. Let this be your reminder today. You don't always have to speak to be heard. Let silence and time do the work. Let them feel your absence like gravity. Let them try to breathe in a room that used to be filled with your oxygen. Because the truth is, you were never ordinary. Write it in the comments right now. Silence is power. Say it, feel it, live it. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because we've only just begun. Stay with me. 1. Silence speaks louder than closure. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Have you ever noticed how people demand closure after they hurt you? They walk away, leave you broken, confused, blindsided, and then expect you to give them a final chapter, a neat little bow to wrap up their mess. That's the lie they sold you, that if you don't explain, if you don't express your pain, if you don't pour out your heart one last time, then you're the bad guy. That your silence means you're bitter, cold, immature. But let me tell you something. They only say that because your silence takes away their control. And when people lose control, they panic. Imagine this: a theater packed with people, lights dimmed, stage set. Everyone's waiting for the grand finale, but instead of a dramatic exit, the lead actor walks off stage without a word. No speech, no curtain call, just gone. The silence is deafening. That's you, my friend. That's the power you hold when you don't give them the ending they expected. When you walk away and let silence be the final act. But I know what you're thinking. What if they misunderstand me? What if they think I didn't care? What if I'm the one who seems weak? That's the fear talking. That's the part of you that still wants to be seen, still wants to be understood, still wants them to say, "I get it now, you were right." But the truth is, they already know. They knew when they disrespected you. They knew when they pushed you too far. They knew when they left. They don't need another speech. What they need is the silence they created, reflected back to them. You see, silence is not weakness, it's a weapon. And most people fear it more than confrontation because silence leaves them alone with their own guilt, their own memories, their own mess. And that's a hell they can't escape. Words can be twisted, explanations can be ignored, but silence sticks. It lingers in the room like smoke after a fire. They expected fireworks, you gave them stillness. They expected anger, you gave them distance. They expected noise, you gave them space. And now, they don't know what to do with it. It's hard, I know, because we're wired to seek resolution. We want answers. We want peace. But not every war ends with a handshake. Sometimes peace looks like walking away without saying a word. Sometimes healing looks like letting them wonder forever. And yes, it'll feel uncomfortable at first. The temptation to send that one last message, to explain your side, to make them understand your silence. But don't fall into that trap. You don't need to finish the conversation they ended the moment they stopped valuing you. They told you closure was kindness, that giving them clarity was mature. But what they really wanted was another chance to control the narrative, another moment to pull your strings, another opportunity to manipulate your emotions. Your silence robs them of that. And that's why it's so powerful. It's not easy. You'll sit there some nights, heart pounding, fingers hovering over your phone, wanting to reach out to say just one more thing. That's the old you trying to keep the door open. But the new you, the one grounded in self-respect and discipline, knows better. Silence isn't emptiness. It's a boundary, a declaration, a shield. It's you saying, "I no longer entertain what disrespects my soul." And when the silence stretches on, when they realize you're not coming back, not even for closure, that's when the real impact begins. That's when the weight of your absence hits harder than any words ever could. You didn't have to scream. You didn't have to beg. You just walked away with dignity. And trust me, that silence will echo in places your voice never reached. So today, choose silence not out of spite, but out of strength. Choose it because your peace matters more than their explanation. Choose it because not everything deserves a response. Let them write their own ending while you start a new chapter they'll never be part of. Type it in the comments. Silence speaks for me. Say it loud. Show yourself, show them, show the world around you that your strength isn't in how loudly you leave. It's in how calmly you stay gone. Because what's coming next? That's when the silence really starts to hurt them. Stay with me. 2. Time turns relief into regret. At first, they feel free until silence becomes the sound they can't escape. They think they've won, don't they? The moment you go quiet, the moment you stop checking in, stop showing up, stop caring out loud, they feel a strange kind of relief, like a weight has been lifted, like they've finally taken back control. They smile, they breathe, they might even laugh a little louder in front of others. It's their show now, And in their minds, you're no longer part of the audience. But here's what they don't see coming. Time doesn't heal the way they think it will. It doesn't clean up their mess. It doesn't erase the impact you had. Time just sits with them quietly, patiently, and the longer it sits, the heavier it becomes. Picture this. Imagine drinking from a glass that's cracked. At first, it holds water, seems fine, but slowly, drip by drip, it leaks. You don't notice it right away. You're too distracted, too confident that everything's still intact. But one day, the glass is empty. That's what happens to them when you're gone. They feel full at first, strong, untouchable. But the truth starts to leak through the silence. And by the time they notice, it's too late. They're empty. You see, time is not your enemy. It's your quiet ally. It works in the background while you focus on your healing, your growth, your peace. It doesn't need reminders. It doesn't need effort. It just needs space. The space you created when you stepped back. And every second that passes without your presence chips away at the story they told themselves about how okay they'd be without you. But here's what messes with their head. You're not chasing. You're not begging. You're not trying to fix it. And that's not what they expected. They expected breakdowns. They expected long texts, apologies, explanations, proof that they mattered more than your dignity. But when you chose silence, when you chose to stop proving yourself, you shattered the illusion that their leaving would break you. And that's when it starts. The shift. At first, it's small, a moment of stillness they can't explain, a memory that slips in during the commute home, a random object that reminds them of a moment you shared. It's light at first, nothing too serious, but it builds. They open their phone expecting your name. Nothing. They scroll through their day, waiting for your voice to interrupt the noise. Nothing. And that absence, that haunting silence, starts turning that false relief into real discomfort. Time doesn't just pass. Time reminds. Time replays. Time exposes. And let's be honest, they didn't just lose your attention. They lost your protection, your emotional presence, that unspoken safety you gave them by always being there. And now they're realizing that peace was never theirs. It was yours. You carried it. You provided it. And when you left, you took it with you. But don't expect them to admit it right away. Oh no, the ego is stubborn. At first, they'll keep up the show, post the pictures, laugh louder, pretend that life has never been better. But behind that screen, behind those empty nights and fake smiles, there's a growing ache, a whisper that gets louder with every passing day. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I let go of something good. Maybe they really are gone for good. Let it happen. Let time do what begging never could. Let the silence speak what your words couldn't. Let the space you created reveal the truth you no longer need to prove. Because the longer you stay grounded in your peace, the more their temporary relief dissolves into undeniable regret. They'll remember your consistency when others offer chaos. They'll remember your calm when others bring confusion. They'll remember your presence when it's nowhere to be found. And you won't be waiting. You'll be rising, becoming, evolving, because you don't move forward to punish them. You move forward because your soul outgrew the space where you were only tolerated, not treasured. So when doubt creeps in and the silence feels unbearable, remind yourself you're not losing them. They're losing you, and they'll realize it, but only after it's far too late. Write it in the comments. Time reveals truth. Say it loud. Say it for you. Say it for every person who underestimated the quiet force of your disappearance. Let the world know you don't chase anymore. You let time speak. And believe me, what's coming next? That's when the silence starts to haunt them. Stay with me. 3. The void they can't fill. You don't realize how much someone meant to you until you try to replace them. and everyone else feels empty. They thought it would be easy, that replacing you was just a matter of time, just a new face, a new thrill, a few nights out, a couple of compliments from strangers, and boom, you'd be forgotten. But what they didn't understand is this. You weren't just a person. You were an energy, a presence, a calm in their chaos. And when someone like that disappears, it doesn't matter how many names they try to memorize, how many bodies they lie next to, or how many moments they try to laugh through, because nothing fits quite the same anymore. You see, what you gave them wasn't surface level. It wasn't just texts, calls, and date nights. It was deeper. You were the safe space, the anchor, the one who could see through their masks and still choose to stay. You didn't just hear their words, you felt the things they were too scared to say. And now that you're gone, that space is loud. And no matter how hard they try, no matter what or who they run to, the void remains. Imagine them like someone frantically flipping through radio stations. Nothing sounds right. Every song is noise. Every voice is wrong. Because what they're really searching for is the sound of your presence. That unshakable, grounded energy that made them feel understood, even when they didn't understand themselves. You weren't just someone to talk to. You were the silence between the words. You were the peace between their storms. And now that peace is gone. Here's the lie they told themselves. There's always someone else. That the next person would give them the same comfort, the same attention, the same emotional depth. But they forgot something crucial. You're not duplicated. You're not replaceable. You're not average. Your kind of presence isn't picked up on the street corner or downloaded from an app. Your kind of presence is built. It's rare. It's valuable. It's unforgettable. But here's the fun part. They won't admit this, at least not to you. No, they'll keep pretending, smiling in pictures, laughing louder, talking to people who can't even reach the surface of what you used to touch. But behind closed doors, that's where it hits. In the silence after the party, in the stillness after the fun wears off, that's where your absence becomes unbearable. That's where the void they thought they could ignore begins to grow claws. They'll hear your voice in someone else's sentence, see your eyes in a stranger's stare. They'll search for your energy in places you never stepped into. And the more they search, the more frustrated they'll become because you're not out there. You were once beside them, and they let you slip away. That's what silence and time do. They don't scream. They whisper reminders. They plant memories in places that hurt. They sharpen the contrast between what was real and what's now artificial. Every new connection feels dull. Every attempt at moving on feels forced. And eventually, they start to feel tired, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, drained from trying to fill a space they never truly valued when it was full. But you're no longer there hoping they'll come back. You've stopped checking. You've stopped waiting because real power comes from understanding this. You can't be replaced when you were never just a presence. You were an experience. You were the gravity in their life. And when gravity goes missing, everything starts to float and then fall. Let them try. Let them chase temporary highs and hollow compliments. Let them bounce from connection to connection, trying to find a version of you that doesn't exist. You don't need to watch. You don't need to respond, because they'll realize it alone in silence. When no one else fits, when no one else understands them like you did, when no one else feels like home. Type it in the comments. I leave a void. Say it for every moment they took you for granted. Say it to remind yourself of what you bring into people's lives. When you show up fully, deeply, quietly, you were never easy to replace. You were just easy to overlook until you were gone. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more their silence starts to turn into regret. And trust me, that's coming. For the world moves without them. They thought the world would pause when they left. Instead, it just kept turning without them. They thought you'd freeze, that the moment they pulled away, your world would stop spinning, that you'd sit there stuck, replaying every moment, every word, asking yourself what went wrong. They thought their absence would paralyze you, that everything in your life would slow down because how could you possibly move forward without them? But here's the thing, my friends, you did. And not only did you move forward, you did it without making noise, without theatrics, without needing them to see. Because a real one doesn't stop when someone walks out. He redirects. He evolves quietly, steadily, unshaken. See, they didn't just expect you to pause, they needed you to. That was their comfort, the illusion that they still mattered because you were stuck in place, orbiting the memory of what used to be. But the moment you chose not to chase, not to prove, not to wait, that's the moment their illusion shattered. You became the one thing they never expected, unbothered. Imagine it like this, a train station. They walk out expecting the train to stop behind them, doors open, engine off, waiting for them to change their mind. But instead, the train keeps moving and they're left standing on the platform, watching the ride they thought would wait for them disappear into the distance. No goodbye, no hesitation, just movement. And that movement, that's what hits them hardest because they told themselves you couldn't live without them. That your routine, your joy, your energy, all of it was built around their presence. But the silence you gave them wasn't weakness, it was space. And that space, you filled it with growth. While they were out seeking validation, you were working on your purpose. While they distracted themselves with noise, you were building in the quiet. While they sought attention, you found clarity. And suddenly they're not just out of your life, they're out of rhythm. Because your world is no longer shaped by them. They're no longer the center of anything, not your time, not your thoughts, not your peace. Let's kill the lie right here. They believed walking away would make them unforgettable. But the truth is, people don't become unforgettable by leaving. They become unforgettable by staying when it mattered. And when they chose to walk, they made their decision. What they didn't count on was you making yours. You didn't sit around hoping. You didn't wait by the door. You walked out of the burning building without looking back. And now that the smoke has cleared, they're realizing they were the ones who lit the match. And still, you're not bitter. You're not shouting from the rooftops. You're not posting cryptic quotes or trying to prove anything. You've just become unavailable, not because you hate them, but because you finally realized they were never your anchor. You were your own. You always were. Now when they look back, they don't see someone waiting. They don't see someone stuck. They see your back. They see distance. They see motion. And that scares them more than anything because you were supposed to be broken. You were supposed to collapse. But instead, you rose. That's the beauty of strength. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about caring for yourself enough to not be destroyed by someone else's absence. You don't move on to hurt them. You move on because you refuse to stay where love was lost. And now they feel it. The world you built without them. The calm you created in their silence. The energy you protected when they thought they could shake you. And whether they admit it or not, the realization cuts deep. They didn't pause your life. They just removed themselves from your story, and the plot kept getting better without them. Type it in the comments. I kept moving. Say it for every step forward you took in silence. Say it for every time you wanted to look back but didn't. Say it to remind yourself and them that your journey doesn't end because someone exits. It evolves. Stay with me because what's coming next? That's when their ego starts breaking and their heart starts whispering the truth they can't admit out loud. 5. Their ego battles their heart. They walked away with pride, but they cry in silence when no one's watching. At first, they stand tall, proud, cold, convincing themselves that leaving was strength, that cutting you off, ignoring you, and distancing themselves was power. They look in the mirror and whisper, "I did the right thing." They tell their friends they're fine. They smile in public. They post like life is perfect. But beneath that surface, a war has begun. And it's not between you and them. It's between their ego and their heart. See, ego is loud. It likes to be seen. It wants to be right, even when it's wrong. It feeds off pride, off silence, off pretending it doesn't hurt. So when they left, ego cheered. It told them they were in control, that you'd be back, that your silence was temporary, that any second now you'd break, that you'd fold, that you'd come crawling back to fix what they shattered. But time kept passing, and you didn't come back. And that's when the heart started whispering. At first, it was quiet, just a flicker of doubt, a memory here, a moment there. But over time, that whisper grew louder, and the silence they once enjoyed started to sting, because ego thrives on reaction, on attention. And when it gets nothing, when the phone stays silent, when you don't try to fight for your spot back in their life, that's when ego starts to crack, because now it's just them and the truth. The truth that they pushed away someone who actually cared. The truth that the connection they had wasn't ordinary. It wasn't something they could just replace with attention or sex or someone new. And the more they try to suppress it, the more their heart fights back. They start thinking, did I mess up? Was I too cold? What if they never come back? But the ego won't let them say it out loud. No, that would mean surrender. That would mean admitting they were wrong. So instead, they suffer in silence, smiling with their mouth and screaming with their soul. Because the longer you stay silent, the more they're forced to face themselves. No distractions, no one left to blame. And that's the hardest part for someone who once held emotional power over you, to realize they've completely lost it. Let's break another lie. If they don't reach out, they don't care. That's what the world says, right? But it's false. Some people are so trapped in their pride, they'll burn in their feelings just to avoid saying 3 simple words. I miss you. They'll suffer quietly, scroll through your photos, type messages they never send, watch your stories from a fake account, sit in bed wondering what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and why you seem okay when they're falling apart on the inside. But here's what they never expected. Your silence wasn't a strategy. It was a decision. You chose peace over pride, healing over chasing, growth over games. And that, my friend, is something they don't know how to process, because they expected a fight. They expected a scene. They expected you to crumble, but you didn't. You walked away not to hurt them, but to protect yourself. And now the silence that they once believed was their weapon is working against them. It's revealing everything they tried to hide behind pride, and their heart is growing louder than their ego ever could. But let them fight that battle. It's not yours. You don't need to interfere. You don't need to reach out. You don't need to respond to their confusion with clarity. Because the truth is, if they really wanted to fix it, they would. But if their ego is louder than their love, let them keep shouting into the void. You're not playing that game anymore. You're not dancing for attention or arguing for closure. You've got better things to build. A future, a purpose, a version of yourself that doesn't bend just to be kept. Type it in the comments. My peace is greater than their pride. Say it for the nights you stayed quiet. Say it for the days you didn't fold. Say it for the version of you that finally chose self-respect over reassurance. Stay with me, because what's coming next? That's when regret doesn't just knock. It kicks the door down. 6. The unstoppable force of regret. Regret doesn't scream at first. It whispers. Then it lingers. And eventually it consumes. They didn't feel it right away. No, in the beginning, they felt powerful. They felt like the one in control. They walked away, stood tall, convinced themselves they made the right call, told their friends they needed space, that it was time to focus on themselves, that you weren't what they were looking for, that you didn't measure up. But that story only holds up for so long because time has a funny way of stripping away illusions. And silence makes them face the truth without warning. There's no noise to drown out their thoughts now. No arguments, no messages, no reactions, just stillness. And in that stillness, regret begins to bloom. At first it's subtle, just a flicker, a passing thought, a quiet ache they brush off. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I expected too much. Maybe they weren't the problem after all. But as the days stretch into weeks and the silence grows louder, so does the regret, and the confidence they once had starts to wobble because they expected you to be waiting. They thought you'd orbit around their absence, that you'd eventually break the silence, that your need to be seen would overpower your pride. But you didn't. You stayed calm, detached, unavailable. And now they don't just miss you. They miss how you made them feel. Because while they were busy chasing thrills and distractions, no one ever matched your presence. No one ever made them feel that safe, that understood, that grounded. And that realization hits hard. It creeps in at night when the phone doesn't light up, when they scroll past your name and there's no message waiting, when the memory of your voice echoes in their mind and there's no way to hear it again. That's regret, and it doesn't just hurt, it haunts. They'll try to numb it, of course, try to fill the gap, talk to someone new, post a little extra online, laugh louder, but it's all noise, empty, temporary. Because underneath the show, there's a silence that eats away at them. You were steady, you were real, you were there. And now that you're not, they realize it wasn't just about losing someone. They lost someone who never needed them to feel whole, but still chose to show up every time until they made you stop. Let me tell you what most people don't understand. Regret doesn't come from losing something average. It comes from letting go of something irreplaceable. And you, my friend, were never just an option. You were the constant, the one who held it down when everything else was chaos. And they never thought you'd walk away quietly, but you did. No screaming, no warnings, no dramatic exit, just silence. And now that silence is a reminder they can't shake, it reminds them of how much they took you for granted, how much they thought you'd tolerate, and how little they appreciated until appreciation was no longer an option. But don't think for a second this is your responsibility. Their regret is theirs to carry. You're not here to rescue them from the consequences of their choices. You're not here to offer closure to someone who never gave you consideration. Because the truth is, the most powerful response isn't a comeback, it's a comeback to yourself. And that's exactly what you've done. You've reclaimed your time, your peace, your power. And while they're stuck in a loop of what-ifs, you're creating a life that no longer includes them. That's the beauty of growth. You don't need them to see your worth. You just needed to stop wasting it where it wasn't respected. Type it in the comments. Their regret is not my burden. Say it for the version of you that used to shrink to be loved. Say it for the peace you chose over chaos. Say it to remind yourself and the world that just because someone regrets losing you doesn't mean you owe them a way back. Stay with me because next, we're going to talk about desire and how absence doesn't just cause regret. It reshapes how they see you forever. 7. Absence reshapes desire. What's always available is rarely valued. What disappears becomes unforgettable. They didn't desire you when you were always there, when you answered every message, when you picked up the phone on the first ring, when you showed up even when they didn't, when you made them your priority while they treated you like an option. Back then, they felt in control, comfortable, bored even. Because here's the brutal truth, my friends. People don't crave what's constant. They crave what feels scarce, what feels earned, what feels just out of reach. And that's exactly who you've become. Your absence. It's not just silence. It's not just space. It's transformation. You've gone from being the one they were used to the one they can't access. From predictable to mysterious. From available to gone. And nothing builds desire faster than not knowing how to get back what was once taken for granted. See, at first, they were fine, maybe even relieved. They believed they had the upper hand. They thought they could walk away and you'd still be there waiting, hoping, proving. But the moment they realized you weren't chasing, weren't reacting, weren't even trying, something inside them shifted. That's when desire starts to grow. Quietly at first, a passing thought, a quick memory. But your absence has weight. It fills the room. It follows them into conversations, into late nights, into moments when they're surrounded by people, but still feel alone because you're not there. And more importantly, you're not trying to be. Let me give you a visual. Imagine a garden. Every day you watered it, showed up, gave light, gave attention, and they thought the garden would keep blooming no matter how they treated it. So they stopped noticing. But then you stopped watering, you stopped showing up. You let the silence grow like wild vines. And suddenly, that same garden looks different, withered, empty, and they can't unsee it. Now they miss the light. Now they miss the warmth. Now they realize it was never the garden, it was you. But this part is important. You didn't disappear to make them want you. You didn't withdraw as a strategy. You did it because you finally understood your worth. You did it because you refused to beg to be seen. You did it because true self-respect isn't loud, it's silent, it's patient, and it walks away with grace. And that silence, that distance, is doing the work for you. Because now they're imagining who you're with, what you're doing, whether you've moved on, whether you've forgotten them. Their desire isn't fueled by your attention, it's fueled by your disappearance. This is what they never tell you. Desire is born in uncertainty. It grows in the space where answers used to be. It thrives in silence, in mystery, in the absence of your voice, your validation, your presence. You are now the unanswered question in their life, the one they can't decode. And that, my friends, is rare in a world where everyone overshares, overexplains, and overreaches. You became still, you became quiet, you became untouchable. And while they're out there seeking distractions, trying to suppress that longing, trying to mask that rising tension, you remain calm, collected, and focused. Because you've learned that your energy isn't for everyone, that your time, your love, your presence is earned, not expected. They want you now, not because you changed, but because you left. They crave you now because they can't touch you, because the version of you that was once easy to access has become a memory. And that memory, it's more powerful than any explanation you could have given. Let them want. Let them wonder. Let them wish. You're not here to perform. You're not here to validate someone who only realized your value when it was no longer theirs to have. Type it in the comments. My absence builds desire. Say it for your silence. Say it for your strength. Say it to show yourself and the world that you no longer have to beg to be wanted. That when you walk away with dignity, desire follows in silence. Stay with me because what's coming next? That's not just about desire. It's about the victory of becoming unmoved, unbothered, and completely untouchable. 8. The victory, unmoved, unbothered. The greatest revenge isn't anger, it's silence, peace, and indifference. They thought the goal was to make you react, to watch you fall apart, to see you chase, cry, and explain yourself again and again. That's the story their ego wanted to write, that your worth depended on their validation, that the moment they pulled back, you'd fall to your knees. But that story never made it past chapter 1. Why? Because you didn't just go quiet, you became untouchable. And now you're not bitter, you're not broken, you're not even bothered. You've reached the point most people never get to, the place where their opinion doesn't move you, their absence doesn't shake you, and their silence is met with your peace. See, they were prepared for everything except this. They were ready for arguments, emotional messages, attempts to fix things. They were bracing for drama, for chaos, for proof that you still cared. But you didn't give them a storm. You gave them something far more terrifying: stillness. Stillness is what they never expected. The way you stopped showing up, the way you stopped explaining yourself, the way you let go, not loudly but completely. And that's when the power dynamic shifted. That's when everything turned. Because your silence isn't a punishment, it's a boundary. Your peace isn't passive, it's earned. And your indifference isn't because you're cold, it's because you finally healed. Let's break the biggest lie right now. They told themselves you were weak for caring, that your emotions made you easy, that your love made you blind. But now they see the truth. You were strong for staying calm while they tested your worth. You were powerful for walking away when you had every reason to stay and prove yourself. You were the one who stayed grounded while they played games. Now they're looking back, expecting to see you waiting, hoping, wishing. But all they see is your back turned and you walking forward, not rushing, not looking over your shoulder, just moving with quiet confidence, with purpose, with freedom. That's the victory. It's not about winning them back. It's about reaching a level of emotional mastery where their actions no longer define your value, where you realize that peace is better than proving a point, that silence is stronger than screaming, that you didn't lose them, they lost access to you. You see, most people confuse stillness with weakness. But stillness is control. It's power. It's knowing you could respond but choosing not to. It's understanding that the person who can hold their tongue, who can walk away without explaining, who can choose dignity over drama, that's the person who holds the real power. Because power doesn't yell, it doesn't chase, it doesn't beg. Power stands still while everything else falls apart. And now, they feel it. The emptiness they created. The void you used to fill. The silence they once weaponized now echoing back at them. But you're not waiting for them to break. You're not watching to see if they regret it. That's not your business anymore. Your business is peace, purpose, progress. While they battle their ego and wrestle with their heart, you've gone inward. You've built discipline. You've stopped needing attention to feel valuable. You've stopped needing their apology to move on. And that's why you've already won. Because the ultimate victory isn't making them miss you. It's realizing you never needed them to begin with. Your silence is not revenge. It's revelation. It's the loudest way to say, I'm done playing a role in your story. I've started writing my own. In conclusion, remember this. Your silence is not weakness, it's power. Every day without you rewrites the story they once controlled. Let your peace speak louder than their chaos. Stay grounded, stay untouchable. If this message hit home, like the video, subscribe for more and share it with someone who needs this truth.